Introduction. Tsetse flies are blood-sucking insects that are found exclusively in Africa. They are the primary vectors of African trypanosomiasis, also known as sleeping sickness, a deadly disease that affects both humans and animals. Tsetse flies have been recognized as a significant ecological and economic problem in Africa, causing both direct and indirect harm to the continent's agriculture, tourism, and healthcare sectors. Tsetse flies are ecologically important because they serve as a food source for a variety of predators, including birds, bats, and spiders. They are important because they play a crucial role in the transmission of trypanosomiasis, a disease that affects humans and animals. Tsetse flies belong to the family Glossinidae and the order Dipteria. There are 23 species of tsetse flies, which are classified into three subgenera: Glossina, morsitans, and Austinina. Tsetse flies are also important for the conservation of wildlife in Africa. They act as a natural barrier preventing the spread of livestock into wildlife areas and protecting the biodiversity of these regions. In some cases, the presence of tsetse flies has actually helped to preserve large areas of wilderness that might otherwise have been destroyed by human activities. The physical characteristics of the tsetse flies. Tsetse flies are about the size of a housefly, ranging from 8 to 17 millimeters in length. They have a distinctive long proboscis, which they use to pierce the skin of their hosts and suck blood. Tsetse flies are usually gray or brown in color, with some species having distinct patterns on their wings. When at rest, their wings cross like scissors and extend beyond the tip of the abdomen, in which there are 6 visible segments. The palpi are almost as long as the proboscis, which protrudes from the front of the head. The mouthparts of both sexes are adapted for piercing and sucking, and usually they are diurnal in habit. The wing venation is a characteristic especially in the course of the fourth vein, which produce the hatchet or cleaver-shaped discal cell. The life cycle of tsetse fly. Tsetse flies are larviporous and pupiporous, giving birth to a single completely developed larva at intervals, producing from 8 to 20 in all, while in the oviduct the larva feeds on secretions from specialized milk glands. Tsetse flies have a complete metamorphosis with 4 distinct stages: the egg, the larva, the pupa, and the adult phase. Females deposit their eggs in a protected area, such as soil or vegetation. The larva hatches from the egg and feeds on decaying organic matter. The pupa is a non-feeding stage that develops into an adult. The adult emerges from the pupa and begins the cycle again. Habitat. The habitat of tsetse flies. Tsetse flies are found in the sub-Saharan Africa, in areas where there is a combination of suitable climate, vegetation, and wildlife. They are usually found in forested areas, riverine areas, and savannas. Tsetse flies are sensitive to changes in their habitat and can be affected by deforestation and other environmental changes. Temperature and the presence of shade have an important bearing on the life of the fly. It is killed within a short time by direct sunlight and by temperatures over 30 degrees Celsius, especially if the humidity is not high. The feeding habits of the tsetse fly. Tsetse flies are obligate blood feeders and feed on a variety of hosts, including humans, livestock, and wildlife. They are important vectors of trypanosomes, which are protozoan parasites that cause trypanosomiasis in humans and animals. Now talking about the important part of tsetse flies, which is the transmission of trypanosomiasis. Trypanosomiasis is a disease that affects both humans and animals, causing fever, fatigue, and other symptoms. Tsetse flies are the primary vectors of the disease, transmitting the trypanosome parasite to their hosts through their saliva during feeding. Trypanosomiasis has a significant impact on the health and productivity of livestock and can also affect the livelihoods of people who rely on them. The impact of tsetse on livestock. Tsetse flies are a major threat to the livestock industry in sub-Saharan Africa, causing significant economic losses due to reduced productivity and mortality. Infected animals can develop severe trypanosomiasis, which can lead to weight loss, anemia, and even death. Control measures such as the use of insecticides and the development of trypanotolerant breeds, which have been implemented to reduce the impact of tsetse flies on livestock. However, the impact of tsetse on human lives is that tsetse flies can transmit trypanosomes to humans, causing human African trypanosomiasis, or HAT, also known as the sleeping sickness. HAT can cause a range of symptoms, including fever, headache, and neurological problems, and can be fatal if left untreated or treated improperly. Tsetse flies have a significant socio-economic impact, affecting the health and productivity of communities in sub-Saharan Africa. An overview on the control methods of tsetse flies. Now, the different methods used to control tsetse flies include both chemical and non-chemical options. The chemical control methods, such as the use of insecticides and traps, have been effective in reducing tsetse fly populations in certain areas. Non-chemical methods, such as the use of sterile insect technique and the promotion of integrated vector management, are also being developed as sustainable alternatives. The success of tsetse fly control programs is dependent on a range of factors, including community engagement and adequate resources. The research on tsetse flies has been ongoing for decades, with a focus on understanding their biology, behavior, and the epidemiology of trypanosomiasis. Advances in technology and genetic tools have also allowed for new approaches to tsetse fly control, such as the use of genetic editing and the development of genetically modified sterile males.